"Why did you come back for me?" she whispered, her voice trembling like the last note of a sad song carried away by the wind. The prairie stretched endlessly before them, painted gold by the dying light of the sun. The horizon burned, and in that glow, dust shimmered around the lone figure on horseback who had returned after so long. After too much time, too much silence, and too many graves filled in between. The man dismounted slowly. His boots hit the earth with a heavy thud, stirring memories more than dust. He didn't answer at first. His hat cast a long shadow across his face, but his eyes, those weary, storm-dark eyes, held 1,000 unspoken things. He had ridden for 3 days straight to reach her again. The horse beneath him was spent, but not as tired as his heart. She stood in front of the cabin, the same one they had built together years ago before everything had fallen apart. The fence was broken now, the fields overgrown, the roses she once planted nothing but thorns. Her dress was faded, her hands still stained from the earth she worked alone. She had aged, but the fire in her eyes was the same. That was what broke him most, the thought that after all these years, she was still waiting for something that had no right to return. "I didn't expect you," she said quietly. "After the telegram, after what you said, I thought you were gone for good." "I was," he replied. His voice was rough, cracked from days of silence and guilt. "But some things don't stay buried, Anna. Not even when you try." Her lips trembled. "You shouldn't have come back. Not now, not after everything." He took a step closer, slow and careful, as though afraid she might vanish if he moved too quickly. "I couldn't stay away," he said. "Not after what I heard." "What did you hear?" she asked, though part of her didn't want to know. "That your boy, our boy, was gone." Her breath hitched. She looked away toward the small wooden cross near the apple tree. The wind moved through the leaves like a sigh. "He was 12, she whispered. "Fever took him, just like it took my mother. Just like this land takes everything." He swallowed hard, his jaw clenched as he tried to keep the grief from showing, but it was too late. It spilled out in the way he looked at that little cross, in the way his hands shook slightly as he took off his hat and held it to his chest. "I didn't even know," he said. "I didn't even know his name." "Eli," she said softly. "You would have liked him. He had your stubbornness. Always wanted to help, always thought he could fix things with his hands. Just like you." He looked at her then, really looked at her, and saw the weight of years written in every line of her face. "I wanted to come back sooner," he said. "But after the war, I didn't think there was anything left worth coming back to." She laughed, but it was bitter and wet with tears. "And now you think there is?" "I don't know," he admitted. "Maybe I just wanted to say I'm sorry." "For leaving?" she asked. "For everything," he said. The sun dipped lower, the shadows grew longer. A coyote howled in the distance, lonely and far away, and the sound seemed to echo the hollow ache between them. She turned and walked toward the porch, her steps slow, her body weary. He followed a few paces behind, stopping at the bottom of the steps. "Why did you come back for me?" she whispered again, not looking at him this time. "After all this time, after all the hurt, why now?" He took a deep breath, the kind that hurt going in. "Because when I left, I told myself I was doing you a favor. That you'd be better off without me. But every mile I rode, every night I spent alone under the stars, I kept hearing your voice in my head. And when I heard about Eli, it felt like I lost him too, even though I never had the right to call him mine. I just couldn't let you face it alone." She turned then, eyes glistening with tears she hadn't allowed herself in years. "You don't get to do that," she said, her voice sharp as glass. "You don't get to ride in like some hero from one of your old stories and fix what you broke. You can't bring him back. You can't undo what you did." "I know," he said simply. "But I can stay this time." "Stay," she repeated, a hint of disbelief in her tone. "After all these years, you think it's that simple?" "No," he said, but it's a start. She sank onto the porch step, her hands trembling. You left me with nothing, Jack. Nothing but a dream and a broken promise. Do you know how many nights I sat right here, wondering if you were dead or just gone? He lowered himself onto the ground before her, resting his hat on his knee. I thought I was doing the right thing. When they called for volunteers, I thought if I fought, maybe I could come back a better man. Someone you could be proud of. I didn't need a hero, she said. I needed you. Silence hung heavy between them, thick as the heat before a storm. He looked down at the dirt, then back up at her. I can't change the past, Anna. But I can try to make things right. If you'll let me. Her eyes softened, though her words didn't. And if I don't, then I'll still fix the roof before I go, he said with a faint, weary smile. Can't stand seeing it sag like that. For the first time, she almost smiled too. Almost. You always did hate a crooked line. Still do, he said. And I still. He stopped himself, the words catching in his throat. Still what? She asked. Still love you, he said finally, his voice low, like a confession to the wind. She looked away, blinking hard. Love doesn't fix things, Jack. No, he said, but it gives you a reason to try. The night deepened around them, stars beginning to shimmer overhead. He got up slowly and walked toward the barn. The old boards creaked under his hand, the smell of hay and thyme filling the air. He started working, quietly, just like he used to, fixing hinges, mending fences, repairing what he could. She watched from the porch, tears slipping down her face one by one, silent as the years between them. He stayed up through the night, hammering by lantern light, and when dawn came, the roof stood straight again. She came out with 2 cups of coffee, her hands trembling as she passed him one. You really stayed, she said softly. Told you I would, he said, taking the cup. She sat beside him on the steps, watching the sunrise together. The light fell across their faces, warm and gentle, and for the first time in years, the silence between them didn't hurt. He looked at her, his eyes tired but alive in a way they hadn't been in years. So, he said, a faint smile tugging at his lips, you gonna tell me about Eli? About the years I missed. She hesitated, then nodded slowly. Yeah, she said, but you'd better be ready. There's a lot to tell. I've got time, he said. They sat there for a long while, the sun climbing higher, painting the world new. The pain was still there. Maybe it always would be, but so was something else. Something fragile and stubborn, like hope. And when she leaned her head against his shoulder, just for a moment, he closed his eyes and let out a long, quiet breath. I came back, he murmured, because I never stopped missing you. She didn't answer right away. She didn't need to. The way her hand found his was answer enough. And as the wind moved softly through the prairie grass, carrying the scent of morning and memory, 2 broken souls sat side by side, tired, older, but not yet done. Not while the world still had light left in it.